Steve from 7D Expert, back with another ThoughtSpot video today. We're going to be looking at Spotter and how to use it. If you're not familiar with Spotter, please see our other video where I talk about what it is, what it aims to achieve. This one we're going to be looking at how to actually use it. Okay, so firstly, how do you access? Well, there's two main ways. You can go to your Insights pane up here, and you've got the Spotter interface at the top there, or you can go to a live board, any live board that has Spotter enabled on the data source underneath, and you'll see the Spotter icon appear. You can click on that to get straight into the Spotter interface. For the purpose of this, let's just go to the main Insights window, and we're going to use the Spotter interface from here. So I've got my data source selected. You can choose different data sources by clicking on that, and you see these down the left hand side. It's worth pointing out these are only data sources that have got Spotter enabled. So if you don't see your data source in that window, either go into the data menu and enable Spotter, or if you don't have the privileges, contact your system admin who'll be able to do that for you, and then you'll be able to use Spotter upon that. Okay, so I'm happy with my data source. Let's ask the first question. And I'm just going to go in with, this is an insurance claims data set, number of claims per city. Okay, so here you can see we're brought into the Spotter interface. I've got my question at the top and then Spotter's answer below. So there's a fair few things to see here. I'll try and run through these. So you can see it's a fairly familiar ThoughtSpot answer that's come about. You can see the search tokens that it's used. So say number of claims is done as a count of the claim ID. That's great. Per city, and it's for each claim location city. Perfect. You can interact with this as you would do a normal ThoughtSpot output. So right click, you've got your drill down capabilities where you can choose a different attribute to drill down into. You can change it to a table if you like. You can actually hit edit and go into the familiar ThoughtSpot edit answer window where you can change all sorts of things about it and then save or discard those changes. I'll just leave it as it is for now. Similarly, as you'd expect from a ThoughtSpot answer, you can pin this to an existing live board or create a new live board to pin it to. You can save it as a standalone answer, or you can download the data, so either an image file or a CSV or Excel file. And then finally, you can mark if Spotter got the answer right or not. So this is useful for overall training of the LLM underneath, just to make sure that it's doing things correctly. And final piece of the puzzle to show you there is the option to preview data. So this is great. You've got your data set selected, but you can't remember. This is bound to be the case. You can't remember all the columns underneath. So open preview data. As the name suggests, you get that preview. You can see all your different columns. And I find this is useful for kind of prompting that next question that you might want to ask of the data. So there we've got number of claims per city. There's a fair amount of data there. So let's say just the top 5. You can see it's very conversational in its approach. You can type in natural language and it will interpret that correctly. So that's great. When I've said just the top 5, as well as just limited it down to the top 5 by a filter, which you can see indicated with the grey token, it's also put a sort on it. So it knows if you want things top 5, top 10, generally you want that to be sorted from the top 1 down to the number 5 in this example. So that's great. Okay, let's ask another question of it. This is interesting. I'm asking to add in the claim type, which is kind of a subcategory, but what we've got here is a typo. So we'll hit enter on that, and you can see it's really useful the way it says what it's done. So here are the changes I have made. I've added claim type. So it's already sussed out that whilst I spelled claim type incorrectly, it's brought in the correct field. You can see it's given me a chart there that adds in claim type as changed it into a stacked bar chart. Okay, great. And the next question, show me the cities on a map. See what it does for this. Okay, so we're halfway there, I'd say. We've still got the top 5 because it's maintaining that this is all in a conversation base, and it's maintaining the references from above in the context. Because I've mentioned map, it's brought in latitude and longitude from the data set, which is clever. And we've got the claim type and city as before, and we've still got the sort. What it hasn't done is put it in a map format. But if I click on view chart, there we go. So it has done all the hard work, it just didn't present it in a map format. But that's great, we can do that there. So now we see the map, we can interact with that again as you would do in any ThoughtSpot map. let's say remove the top 5. How will it interpret that? Great, so what we can see here, we've added the sort, which is potentially not relevant, but we've removed the top 5 sort by count. All right, okay, so it's removed the top 5 section of it, but it's maintained that this token here. So there we see all claimed cities, still mentioned that. If we want to get into a bit more detail, a further question based on this example data is, where were the most thefts? Alright, so there we go. You can see it's added in the claim type of theft, so it's recognised that theft is a value within a column of claim type, and we've got where were the most, so it's done that's the top 1, again very clever. It's taken out claim type and the latitude and longitude, so we've just got the one answer as you'd expect. Now let's try and push it for a final question. What about theft ratio? So this isn't a theft ratio is not a column within our data. What it's done here, you can see by the green token, we've got a formula, and if you hover over it, it's actually created its own formula. So it's the number of claim IDs with theft as the type divided by total number of claim IDs. So therefore it's given us a ratio. I mean, in this example, I'm not best placed to say if that's accurate or not, but it looks correct to me. That'd be worth going into the data and doing a bit of on-the-spot analysis to make sure it is correct. But that's really impressive the way it's done that. So there we go. That's kind of an overview of how Spotter works, how to interact with it. It is very easy to use, and the results seem to be very impressive. Hope you like the video. If you do, like the video, give us a comment, let us know if there's any videos you'd like creating on ThoughtSpot, and we'll try and achieve that for you. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.